Hey there, this is Laquita with QuitaBugHandmaids.com, and thank you so much for joining me today for another tutorial. Today's project is a Thanksgiving project. I am making a load of cards to pass out to some lovely people tomorrow, and I thought, well, I might as well go ahead and film a video and share this project with you guys. And I'm actually using two different stamp sets to create today's project. I'm using the Acorny Thank You, which is an awesome stamp set. Love this for fall themed cards. And I'm also using the Sweet Seasons stamp set. This one is available in our current holiday catalog, and I love that it covers so many different holidays. It's awesome, and you get a variety of different fonts, and we're going to be using this in Everything Give Thanks sentiment. Today we are also going to use the Acorn Builder Punch, which coordinates with the Acorny Thank You stamp set. So here is the card that I'm going to share with you how to make today. I love this card and I love the colors, but my favorite thing about this card, I'm going to try and come in close here, is if you look around the sentiment, I used our stitched framelits to get this stitched look around the sentiment, and I'm absolutely in love with the stitched shapes framelits. Unfortunately, I do think these went on back order as of today. I'm filming this on November the 21st, 2016, but they will be back, and they will also be back in our upcoming annual catalog that will be released in June of 2017. So you'll still have a chance to get your hands on them, but they're absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to share with you how to make this card. I did make two versions of this card to pass out. So here is one version, and then I also created this one as well, mostly because I didn't have enough of my Paisley's Designer Series paper left in this pattern, so I had to use this pattern. But I think they're both really great. I love how they turned out, but I'm going to share with you how to make this one today. So let's go ahead and get started. So really quick, before we actually start the project, I thought it would be neat just to kind of share my process with you guys of how do I mass produce cards when I have a whole ton of them to make. So one thing that I've already gone ahead and done for all of these cards is I've cut all of my layers. I've already adhered my designer paper down to my macaron pieces, and I've done the same thing for the other design. So I've got this part of the cards already ready. And then I've gone ahead and done some more prep work. I've cut all of my card bases and scored them. I've got all of my mint macaron ribbon ready to go. And I've done the same thing for the other card. I've got all the card bases ready and my rich raspberry ribbon ready to go. And then I've also gone ahead and I've prepped all of my little acorns. I've got the twine on there, even the dimensional. Everything's adhered down, ready to go. Here's the other little set of acorns, so cute. And then I've done a whole ton more of stamping. So I've got all of my delightful Dijon sentiments ready to go. I've already adhered them onto some of our copper foil sheets, and I've done the same thing with the tip top taupe version. So those are ready to go. So now all I'll be doing tonight really is just getting everything assembled. So it should come together pretty quickly because I've done most of the work. Okay, let's go ahead and get started, and I will show you how to create today's card. Okay, we're going to start by doing a little bit of stamping first. So I've got a piece of very vanilla cardstock here, and I'm going to bring in my delightful Dijon ink, and we're going to start by stamping the In Everything Give Thanks sentiment, and I'm just going to stamp this right about here. And you want to leave a little room at the bottom because we are going to run this through the Big Shot. Oh, I stamped it upside down. That's okay, that still works. There we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, this may sound confusing at first, but since the acorn bottom is on the right, I'm actually gonna stamp it over here on the left. And then since the topper is on the left, I'm actually gonna stamp it here on the right. You'll see why once we get ready to punch. Just bear with me, and I hope this will make sense. And I'm also going to bring in my piercing mat because this stamp set seems to work better that way. So I've got my tip top taupe, and I'm going to stamp my acorn bottom over on the left. right about here. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my mint macaron ink, and I'm going to stamp my topper with the stem facing the left, but I'm going to stamp the image over here on the right. Just like that. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my builder punch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and punch out my topper. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to punch out my acorn bottom. And I didn't waste very much paper. By stamping on opposite sides, I was able to maximize my paper here. Okay, so now I've got my big shot. We're gonna do a little bit of die cutting. I'm gonna bring in my magnetic platform, and then I've got one cutting pad here. I'm going to bring in that stamped Give Thanks and my stitched framelit, and if you look at the framelit, you can see it's got the stitch lines here, and then it's also got the other line that will actually die cut your oval out. So I'm just going to turn that over. This is where the magnetic platform comes in so handy, because you can line this up and hold your die in place. Okay, I think that looks good. And we'll just run this through the Big Shot. Okay, and then when you go to pop this out, I just kind of give it a press in the center, and it comes right out, and then you've got this beautiful stitching. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, now I've got a piece of copper foil, and I'm going to lay that down along with one of our scalloped oval framelits. This is from the layering framelits in our annual, the layering oval framelits in our annual catalog. I'm just going to run that through. Alrighty, so now that we've got all of these pieces together, ready to go, we can start adhering them. So I'm just going to adhere this layer right onto my copper foil sheet. Right about there, looks good. Okay, and I'm going to put my little acorn topper on. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my layers. I've got a piece of mint macaron cardstock. This is cut down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm going to layer my Paisley's Designer Series paper on top, and this is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And again, I'll just use my fast fuse. Okay, there we go. Okay, so next I'm going to bring in my Delightful Dijon card base. This is cut at 8 1/2 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and I have scored it at 4 1/4. And before I layer this piece on the front, I've got a piece of mint macaron ribbon here, and I am just going to wrap this around and adhere it down. And I'll just use fast fuse again. Alrighty, so I've just wrapped that around in the center just like that, and I'll just adhere this layer down to the front of my card. Alrighty, so I've got that all added onto the front of my card. Looks good. So now I'm going to add my sentiment down, and I want this to be sort of off to the right, and I'm going to pop that up using dimensionals, and I think 4 is enough. And I'm just going to put the dimensionals 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom so that it doesn't rest on top of my ribbon. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my acorn, my glue dots, and my paper piercer. And I'm just going to take a glue dot and just kind of roll it up here and just lay it here at the top of my acorn. And I've gone ahead and I've tied a little bow using some of our linen thread from the annual catalog, and I'm just going to lay that down right into that glue dot. And there we go. And now I'm just going to add a dimensional to the bottom of my acorn, and then a glue dot, let's see, to the top right of my acorn. And I'm just going to lay it right about here. There we go. And look at how quick and simple that card was to complete. I love this card, and it's just beautiful. I love it. I love these colors. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I had a fantastic time making this card with you. If you'd like to purchase any of the supplies that you saw me use today, you can head on over to today's coordinating blog post. I've linked it just below this video in the description note. You can also find all of the measurements that I used to create this project as well. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you again real soon. Bye now.